Mayor Grant.
Yep.
Iverson.
Yes.
Hutton. Polash. Poppy.
Here.
Bosco John.
Here.
Split.
Here.
Mayor McCormick.
All right, is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes from March 15th meeting?
Motion to approve March 15th.
I'll
Minutes.
second it, sorry, John.
That's right.
Any discussion there? None, all those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. All right, first action item is the special exemption or modification to the business, Ripon Business Park protective covenants. So the exemption, if we go that route, would be for the brick requirement or masonry requirement.
Masonry.
Would you like me to speak to that?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Plans along also, if you want to look at them. Need them or not? My name's Bill Hope, I'm the architect for Mr. McConnell. I think you all have these in your packet, but this is a proposed development off of Douglas Street and Dzinski Avenue. Right now, it would be a 100 by 100 building with possible future expansion. And this is the elevation that I put together to meet the current covenants. I'm gonna start off with a little history lesson. 12 years ago, I was one of the committee that wrote these covenants. And the administration's view for this development or the business park was that there would be far more business and commercial uses in the park. Since that time, subsequent administrations and councils have allowed the park to become much more industrialized and more like the industrial park across Douglas Street. For that reason, I think the covenants are probably a bit outdated for the way the park is now being used. That's one of the reasons we're here to ask for the exemption. The way the covenants read now, we would need masonry on the Douglas Street side and the Dzinski Avenue side. Dzinski Avenue, of course, facing directly away from Highway 44. So we think they're a bit excessive for this type of use and for the way that the park has developed over the past decade.
So the address of the building will be Dzinski?
The address of the building is Dzinski Avenue. I talked with Sue about that, and she gave me 691 North, no, I'm sorry, 691 North Douglas.
Okay.
That's the address.
So if your address is Douglas and you're facing Douglas, wouldn't it only be required?
Necessarily
masonry?
facing Douglas. The drive comes off of Douglas, the front face of the building faces Dzinski. So, but she thought the Douglas Street was a more
And north is
appropriate
at the top of the building? Or
Yeah,
top
up
of
by
the
Yes.
his hand, right, yeah.
Okay, so if your address is Douglas, shouldn't only the west side need masonry?
That's not the way the covenants read, because it's,
That's
the covenants read that we need at least
Another
25%.
street. Yeah, 25% of the
On
facing.
each face.
On facing.
It could be read that we need 50% on Douglas also, but.
But that,
So-
the way I read it is if you deem the Dzinski side as the front of the building, that would need 25%. But if you deem the Douglas side, it wouldn't. The way I'm reading this.
But abutting Douglas.
Yeah.
It abuts Douglas. It's not that.
But in either case, you're looking to have us wait.
You're right. We can debate this language all night.
Right.
Okay,
Is that all metal?
It
So
would be
some
at
of
that
it's
point.
horizontal, you're
No,
showing
it
some,
would be,
or would it be like a, and I don't wanna say a pole bar metal, or,
well, it's a pre-engineered metal building. It would be a pre-engineered metal building.
okay.
No, this meets the masonry requirements,
so the horizontal is masonry on there.
Yeah, the horizontals are masonry on these
Okay.
particular elevations.
And if we waive it, it would just all be
It would become,
corrugated steel?
yes. We could talk about the level of panel. There are various levels of panels that we could look at. Doesn't necessarily have to be what you're looking at out the window right there.
Right.
Yeah. And this is Flash Trucking, is that the one?
It's a,
Or a part of that?
Part of
That's what
Flash,
we,
yes.
okay.
Yep, so just to take a step back too, so the city currently owns the lot. We have a development agreement with Flash to sell them the lot to put on a transloading facility as kind of detailed in the plans and on the screen. So we've been working with them over the last, I would say, 8 months or so. So this is sort of the concept. The covenants are kind of one of the things that we've been talking about. There's no objection from anybody, administration or building inspector, to remove the requirements of the covenants. The covenants were written in a positive way, that there is an out to the requirements of the covenants via a special exemption or modification, so nice job, Lud, in including that way back when. But if it was approved by Plan Commission, so if there's a recommendation tonight, it would then move forward to the Common Council.
I do want to point out that these are railroad spurs coming onto the back of the building. The intention is to have railroad cars there and be offloading them into the current building and then any subsequent expansions.
And the building is completely masked to the south by the Alliance warehouse.
It's gonna be hard to see.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say that when you drafted this, we didn't think that Alliance was gonna build a big old, or Alliance gonna build a big old
No,
building.
it wasn't anticipated, but I think we appreciated the fact, and I think Bill did a good job
Right.
laying it out, that it could still develop as an industrial-like park. We weren't limiting what could go there. We were looking for the highest and best use, and clearly with the rail involved, you're gonna have those type
And when
of
you
uses.
came up with these covenants, your intention for the park was more of a business park than industrial?
Correct.
And-
Business, commercial mix, especially along highways.
Especially along Highway
And
44.
ultimately it's being used as,
Yeah, ultimately, the park has kind of migrated to more industrial rather than.
If you can see here, Ted,
yeah,
so I believe this was sort of the concept where you had
Yep.
lots along here and then more of an industrial feel here.
Right.
okay.
Mhm. So, yeah.
So that, you know, with the trails, or the rail spur and the transload type facility, the whole lot will go toward that use.
Right. And one reason for making exemption versus modification is there's still a lot facing Highway 44,
Right.
which we would like to be able to enforce the masonry covenant if we do end up with a business there.
So that was my question. This is just an exemption for this building, not the change?
For the lot.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Yeah,
Case
the-
by case.
The
Okay.
other one is, the other area would be right here,
Okay.
that's still open.
Which we have had some interested parties that would be more of a commercial over
Okay.
industrial. You have a question, John?
Yes. Do you have a reason? Is it a cost reason because of the economy now? I mean, things are.
It is, there's a
Okay.
significant cost upgrade to do this also. I mean, to be honest, we just don't think it makes a lot of sense. We're
Right.
gonna have a bunch of train cars parked behind.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Okay, I just,
Wanted to know like if there was a specific reason or not.
And just to kind of, if we can, just in terms of looking for a motion, what can we project the economic impact of this project to be in a ballpark figure? And I don't know if anybody got numbers, but that's, the concluding paragraph has that language in it, the concluding sentence.
and the overall economic impact once it's fully developed.
Right, I guess that's kind of what I'm looking for.
2.5, right now in today's dollars, 2.5 million.
Thank you.
That includes the rail spur cost,
Yeah.
which I assume is a big
Pardon me?
portion. I assume the rail spurs is a big portion of that cost.
Yeah, I mean, the buildings are getting expensive, so. I mean, the current building is 100 foot, our plan is to get to 500 foot. So if we get to 500, it's probably closer to 5 million.
And that would be the shaded area.
The shaded area,
Yeah.
yes.
Going away from the road,
That'd be a big building.
yeah. It would be, it would be great.
Off-topic question here, the part that faces the rail line at the south, is that gonna be like a loading dock style where a forklift can drive right into a boxcar?
No, these are all bulk commodities today. As we know it, it's bulk commodities.
So more grains and,
Bring in plastics and other kind of industrial commodities, and some of it will go rail to truck, which we currently do some of that over off of Benton. And then the rest of it comes in, it goes into, we'll package it.
okay. Is anyone interested in making a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the exemption for this particular lot, which would be, let me find it exactly. Special exemption of modification of the business park protective covenants in regard to this particular lot.
691 North Douglas.
691 North Douglas.
Based upon the economic impact that this project will bring to the city of Ripon and the industrial nature of the development.
I'll accept it as a friendly amendment.
Is there a second to that motion?
Wait, Adam's got to catch up.
Well, okay,
Let's see if we can do it again.
no, I got it,
You got it?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion? Adam, do you want to read the motion?
No.
Okay.
The motion was to approve a special exemption to the Ripon Business Park restrictive covenants based upon the economic impact of the project and the industrial nature of the development.
And essentially, you're approving it and moving it forward to the common council.
Yep.
Yeah.
So approve and recommend to common council.
So that would add approve and recommend
Yep.
to the common council.
Thank you.
Got it?
Got it.
Any discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor of approving the exemption, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved.
Can we ask when this will be on the council's agenda?
Monday night.
Monday night?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we have an extraterritorial CSM. Which this looks to be on Highway 4449, like south of the town?
Yes.
South City?
Yes.
Is that the town of Ripon or one of the other
Yes,
towns?
it's in the town of Ripon.
Right.
What is the range from the city limits?
Mile and a half.
Mile and a half, okay, because this seems like it's out a ways,
It's
but.
gotta be pretty close to the limit.
A little bit beyond that. He's
What's that?
right, it goes a little bit beyond that,
Mile
beyond
and a
that
half.
property.
Oh.
And this CSM where, can't tell, are we dividing something or combining something?
Neither.
What are we doing there?
Really?
They're actually
It says somewhere.
taking out
It's right here.
the little over 2 acres out of A1. And they actually had a zoning change on it to
Oh, turn it into
conform
residential.
Yeah, to conform to the, I believe it's residential.
So there's a house built on ag land right now?
Yes, yeah,
And they're just correcting that?
yes,
Without being 5 acres.
correct.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. That's not our problem, that's the town's.
Town,
That's Gary and Barry's problem.
So town zoning requires 5 acres for a house to be on it?
2,
2.
minimum of 2, yes.
Switch though.
to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the extralateral.
Extraterritorial.
Yes, excuse me.
That too.
Thank you, Glenn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Fairly straightforward. All right, all those in favor of approving the CSM, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. All right,
I believe that's all I need, right?
Adams and mine are on there, should be set.
I'm gonna take that with me. Can I leave it here?
No, no. All
Can't
good.
leave it here?
No, you get to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any project updates or staff reports?
I will likely have a meeting next month, and we'll begin talking about the floodplain zoning. So be prepared for that. I'll try to get a draft ordinance out to the commission. You know, it's pretty much standard stuff from the DNR, but we have to amend it, and we'll talk a little bit about whether or not we included what's called Act 175 into that ordinance. But ultimately, it's something we need to do from a DNR perspective and a dam perspective. And we'll have another CSM on, I believe, next month, and as well. I believe the downtown group at their last meeting, just to give you a heads up, wanted to begin looking at wanted the city to begin looking at the B1 zoning district for allowable uses and things of that nature. So they may make some suggested edits to what is automatically allowed in the B1 district, just to
And
sort of.
prohibited.
And prohibited. So.
More restrictive or less restrictive?
Yes.
Depends on, yes.
Which view?
Yes.
Both.
I think there's room for improvement on both ends, so they are working and talking about that actively.
All right. That pretty much covers future agenda items as well. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second. I was waiting for something.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned at 7:18.